So for our basic braided bracelet, what we're gonna do is we're going to start with basically three strands that we're going to braid together. So we have the left pink strand, we have the right pink strand, and then the yellow strand, I gathered both of them to act as one center strand. So we're going to take the left strand and put it over the center strand. We're going to take the right strand and now put that one over the center strand. So you're basically just taking turns putting the left strand and then the right strand over the center strand. And this is how you braid. This is the most simple way that you can braid. So oftentimes you'll see girls with braided hair, and this is how you would braid your hair. You just keep alternating, putting the left strand over the center strand and then the right strand over the center strand. And you just keep going over and over again. Now this is the whole basis of how all of our bracelets are going to be created in the instructions. So there's a lot of different ways you can take a basic braid and get creative with it. And I'll go slow one more time here. So we started with our left strand, our right strand, and our center strand. And what I've been doing, I just take the left one and go over the center. That one becomes the center. Now I take the right one, go over the center. Now this one becomes the center. And you just keep doing it over and over again. And when you get good practice with it, you can do it quite quickly. And it really doesn't take any time at all. And using this tool between your knees is actually really a lot easier than holding it on a table like this. So it should be a little easier for you guys to do. So you'll just keep going until you have enough braided to go all the way around your wrist. And how I measure it, because everybody's wrist is different, I just measure by just holding it and seeing, oh, does it go all the way around or do I need to keep going? So I think I need to keep going just a little bit more and then I'll be good. Let's see, where did I end up? Get our two back in here. And a little bit more. Oop. Okay, so now how do we finish? The easiest way, and how I'm finishing all of my bracelets, is going to be tying it in a knot. So I simply just loop it around my finger. I take all of the strands together and I loop it around my finger, just like this. And then I push all the strands through the loop and pull through. So we create a knot at the end of our braid, just like that. So your braid will stay in place. Now just remove it from your bracelet making tool, and then it's all set. So if you would like to keep it on your wrist more permanently, you would just put it around your wrist and then tie the ends. You would tie the ends like this through the loop of your bracelet. So here's the loop of our bracelet, and you can just take all of these ends and feed them through the loop. Just like that. Whoop, missed one. Now it's actually really a lot easier if you have a friend to help you. But if you're doing it by yourself, you could just gotta do the best you can. So you feed all the ends through your loop, and then you're just going to tie it around your wrist. Like this. So that's for a more permanent stay, so it stays on your wrist a little bit more permanent. Okay, so our next bracelet is this cool beaded bracelet. So what you do is, again, it's this simple braid, but we're going to be introducing using beads within the braid. So to do that, we need to, we're basically just going to follow the same steps. So you can choose 2 colors of cord. This time I'm going to use purple and pink. There we go. And again, just put the ends together. And find the center. So the center is right here. Now we're going to create our little knot, just like we did for the bracelet before. And this little loop here, this is going to be helpful as the loop that will help this closure loop on. So instead of tying our bracelet on as a more permanent bracelet, you're going to be able to unhook your bracelet and take it on and off. Okay, so back to our beaded bracelet. So again, just put the loop through your bracelet making tool, nice and snug, just like that. Just like that. You can see it. And you're gonna start braiding just like we did before. So we have our right, our center, and our left strings. All right, so just take the left, go over the center, take the right, go over the center, and we're gonna just keep doing that for maybe about 5 motions. And here. Okay. So actually I'm gonna get the double cord over to the left hand side. Now what we're gonna do is take one of our needle threaders, our little bead threaders, and we're gonna choose only one of our strands and put it through the bead threader. Just like that. So then we're going to take one of our beads, and I'm going to use a bead that looks like a pearl, just this white one, and feed the bead threader through the pearl. Oh, that one might be a little clogged. Take the bead threader and feed it through the pearl and pull it. So you can kind of see it goes onto the thread. Alright, so now that we have our bead on the thread, we're going to take both threads together again and continue braiding. So with the bead on the thread, cross it over the center, cross it over the center, cross it over the center, and you just keep braiding. Now this is how you keep the bead in place. So I'll hold it up so you can see. So we have our braid, we have our little bead that we just put on, and then we continued braiding a little bit. So when we have our double strand, the purple is the double strand, over to the left again, I'm going to add another bead. So again, we're just going to take one of the two strands, feed it through our bead threader, like that. And then we can choose another bead. I'm going to take a pink one this time. Put it right on the bead threader and put it onto our strand. So the bead threader just makes it easier for you to put a bead onto the strand. And then you just keep braiding. So the double strand will go to the center, and you just keep braiding. And now we have our second bead on our bracelet. Let's do one more bead. Maybe another of the white ones. So bead threader on, find a little white pearl bead, put that on and feed it on, just like that. Gather both purples together and continue braiding. Now you can add as many more beads as you would like, but I am going to finish our bracelet and show you how to add our little clasp at the end. Okay. Alright, so like we finished before, I'm just going to wrap it around my finger and then feed the ends of the bracelet through the loop. Just like that, and tie it in a knot, just like that. So, to add the clasp, and we'll use a white clasp, you can see it has this big like hole in the middle, or hole at the end. We are just going to tie 2 of our strings through one side and use the other side to tie them too. So I'll take the 2 pink strings and feed them through the little hole, and you can try and just do it like this because it is a big enough hole, or you can always use your bead threader and try and put it through your hole like that. Alright, so we have our pink threads through and our purple threads that are not through. So we're going to simply tie the pink and the purple together, just like that. And I'm going to double knot it so it doesn't come undone. Maybe triple knot it so it doesn't come undone. And anytime you're doing knots with embroidery floss, especially for friendship bracelets, like things that you're going to wear, I do recommend just adding a little drop of glue wherever the knot is, so it's less likely that it will come undone. Alright, so now that we have our little clasp at the end, you can see there's a little lever. So you just pull the little lever back with your thumbnail, and then the end of the bracelet has the loop on it. That's how we started. And you can just clasp your bracelet together like that. Now you can see there are these beautiful long ends that are left. Well, we decorate those with some of our beads. So you can use your bead threader and just thread a couple beads on the ends to make it look more dangly and fun. And since we used the white pearl beads and a pink bead, I think I'll use another pink bead and some white beads to decorate. So what I did, I put one pink bead on, let's see, there we go. And then I'm just gonna tie a knot to keep it on the thread. And I'm gonna double knot it. So here's a single knot. I'm going to double knot it like that. Maybe triple knot it. We just don't want the bead to come off. And again, since we are knotting, I would add a little bit of glue right here on the knot. But now the bead won't come off the knotted part. So that's an easy way to add a little bit of dangle like what I have here on my bracelet. And then when you're done adding your beads, you can always just cut off the excess embroidery floss, the excess thread. There you go, just like that. Now the next thing in our instructions is how to do a rope braid. So for this one, you're going to take 4 different threads. So you get to choose 4 different colors. So we'll do peach, blue, yellow, and I think the teal will be really pretty. And I really like these colors because you can mix and match them to reflect like different seasons, like summer, or maybe if you just choose the blue and the purple and the aqua, the teal color, maybe that looks a little bit more wintry to you. So choosing the different colors of thread could mean different things to you and your friends when you're making each other bracelets. All right, just like we did before, we're going to find the center of our thread. Which is right here. So we're gonna tie our knot. Just like that. And put it through our bracelet making tool. And you can see it actually slid in there pretty easily this time. All right, so for this one, we're going to put 4 threads in the center and 2 threads on each side. So choose whichever colors you want to kind of be like the ropey type of the threads. So you'll see what I mean once we get started. So I'm going to choose the blue to be on either side. So then the rest of the cords are all going to be in the center. So my purple, my peach, and my yellow are all in the center. So we're going to braid simply as we've braided before, but the fact that there's only 1 thread on each side will make the bracelet look different. So I can show you a finished sample before we begin. So you can see this is, let's see if I can get it in focus a little bit better. Here we go. This is an example of the rope braid. So you can see how the yellow kind of outlines the orange and the peach. So for us, the blue will outline all the other colors. All right, so let's get started. So just braid just like you would braid before. So just continually going over the center thread with either side of the threads. And I am not pulling it very tight. I'm leaving it kind of loose. And when you leave it kind of loose, it allows for the center threads to become more bulky between the side threads. So all of the orange and yellow and purple kind of bulge out from the blue. And that's the look that we're going for. It just looks really cool. And it looks more complicated than it actually is. Again, that's how this kit was developed, was to try and make the simple braid look more creative than just a simple braid. And I think it's very successful in doing that. So it's easy to do and you get amazing results. And I would be really happy to give any one of these bracelets to my friends to wear. So again, you just want to keep going until you think it'll go around your wrist. So just hold your wrist up and kind of drape it around your wrist to make sure that it will fit. So, yep, it meets. All right, so this is what ours looks like. It's kind of hard to see up against our tool. So on one side, you see more of the orange and the peach. On the other side, you see more of the purple. Okay, so we'll go ahead and, like with all of our other bracelets, just knot the bottom of it. Take all of the strands together and knot it all together, just like that. And this time we're going to attach one of our fun charms. So I think the charm that will match this color scheme the best will be our, let's see, is it going to be our heart? I think our shooting star. So the shooting star, again, has this cool little opening at the top. So just choose 2 threads. I'm choosing the peach threads. And you can use your bead threader if you want. So just put the thread through your bead threader and then just feed it right through the hole in the charm, just like that. So next, just tie the 2 threads together, just like that. And I would double knot it, or even triple knot it, and then add a little dab of glue on the knot so it stays in place. And you can trim your cords as long or as short as you'd like. And of course, like I showed you earlier, you can add some beads to your other cords to make them dangle, like how I have what I'm wearing. And for this one, this is also a less permanent type of bracelet, how you can wear it. So for this one, you just take the charm and you can feed it through the loop, and all of your other loose ends you can just feed through the loop, and that will help it stay on like that. So here's our loop, here's our little charm, and so for this one, you can choose 3 threads, you can choose more than 3 threads. Actually, for all of them, you can choose more than 2 or 3 threads. It's just how thick you want your bracelet to be, or how many colors you'd like to include in your bracelet. So let's see, what color haven't we used all that much of yet? How about the aqua, the teal color? And we'll use the purple and the pink. Okay, so we'll gather the ends just like we did before. And find our center. Make a loop. And make a knot, I guess, to make our loop, just like this. And then feed the loop into one of the spaces on your bracelet making tool. And for this one, I'm going to keep all of the threads with each other. So both teal threads will stay together, both magenta and both purple. And go ahead and just braid as normal. as usual. So left to center, right to center, left to center, right to center. And it will look just basically like a regular braid until the end. So we're going to keep going. And again, keep it nice and loose. We don't want it super tight. It's easier to create the scrunch if you keep it loose. So you want to keep going until you're almost at the end of your threads. And we're about halfway there. So just keep going. These colors look so pretty together. These are kind of, I would say, wintry as well. So you can make bracelets for every different season. Or if your friend has favorite colors, you could have them choose their favorite colors. So you can make them a bracelet of their favorite colors. Okay, I'm getting to the end of my thread. Now I'm going to show you how to do the scrunch now. Okay, so we have our pink on one side, we have our purple on the other side, and we have our teal in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the teal and just push the other strings up. So I'm just sliding my fingers up the bracelet like that and holding, I just held the teal. So now, to make it look more like a bracelet, you kind of unscrunch it as much as you want. So the teal becomes the center of the scrunch, and the purple and the magenta become the zigzag around the center of the scrunch. So it's as easy as that to create this really cool scrunchy braid bracelet. Now at the end, gather all of your strands and just like the other ones, tie it in a knot. Tie all of the threads in a knot to keep it from coming undone. And this time we're going to put a locket on the end. So similar to the charm, you can use the bead threader and just choose one of your colors of thread and thread that on like, whoop. Thread that through the bead threader. Just like that, and we'll use the heart-shaped locket. So as you can see, the heart-shaped locket has the little hole at the top, so we're just threading our thread through the top hole, just like that. Now just take the other thread, the other purple thread, and knot the locket on. So I tied it once, tied it twice, and triple knotted. And again, I would use a little dot of glue to keep the knot on, or to keep the knot together so it doesn't come undone.